the thing about it is, I've always been under, maybe because I was a guard, great guards can make average big men better. All right? Great big men cannot make average guards better. I'm just telling you. You think about that. And so, right now, our guards are not playing at the level that I think they're capable of, particularly 2 or 3. Now we're getting one eligible, not eligible, but healthy. Chris Benefield, I think, is going to be able to play tomorrow night. And so that's going to help us. But once again, hadn't played in 2 years, other than the game he got hurt. So what I decided is, okay, let's put something together here. I had a team that went to the Final Four in Madison Square Garden a long time ago. And I had about this situation. A lot of bigs, talented, average guards. So I put 3 bigs on the court at the same time and ran a triple post. And then the 2 guards, with small, kid named Yurick Brown out of Dallas and Paul Springer out of Indiana. And so now I'm going to put Montre Thomas is going to be a player. I mean, he's just like now, he don't know what the hell he's doing. I mean, he's just in there, and whatever he's doing, he's going to do it with enthusiasm, and he's going to do it fast. So, but I know he's got abilities, and once he learns how to play, he's going to be really good. And like I said, he's a freshman. So, and then Dennis, if he can, and he will, it's just a matter of time before he comes around. So you got 2 kids there can shoot the ball, can both guard, got some toughness about them, and so we're gonna work with that here until some of these other kids. Vector Porsche's not playing very well, you know, but he's got such a great spirit about him and a big heart that he's just, I mean, he's one of those kids that is truly for the team, and he's a little bit better than what he's showing. All right. So until it happens, we're going to go with that route tomorrow night, play some zone on the road, and basically, I haven't really seen so far yet any great shooting teams that we've played. I mean, where they just, you know, even the 2 Division I teams. Now, you know, that one made 10 threes, but they were still below 30% or right at 30%. And it wasn't like where you got one guy, you know, that, you know, because that's usually put in during the zone, is that, you know, he's capable of making 9, 10 threes. We haven't come across it yet, and I haven't seen anything like that on the teams that we've played. And the great thing about these upcoming games, we've already played them once. So that's the direction we're going to take now. Stan, do you have a question?
Yeah, I just want to know, when you switched up your lineup, how well did the boys play?
They did pretty good. But you know, the thing is that I was hoping that, and I thought that would happen. It was like, I looked up there at one time and there was, I don't know, like 12 minutes to go, and it was like 12-9 in favor of us, I think, against Southern. So they held their own. But even when I picked back 4 or 5 weeks ago, when we picked who we thought was the top 8 or 9 players and then played against the bottom, the lower half, you know, when you do a 20-minute scrimmage, the games are always close. So I thought, well, they can hold their own. Now, when Dr. Barnes and Kimbrough coached, those teams I thought would be really even. And it was a great game, 92-90. And but they did, I was happy that they did well. Now, that can tell you 2 things. Right now, what we got a lot of depth, but it's bad depth, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, no one really stood out. You want to have that good depth where that 8, I've always played 8 kids. Now, this year we'll probably play 9 because with so many big guys that, you know, particularly start playing them like that. But we still got to get, we've got to get 2 great guards. I'm talking about difference-making guards. And we need 1 more big difference maker at a 3-4 type of situation. Those are the 3 priorities that will be on that court this time next year. And to go with what we've got. if we don't sign a player for the next 2 years, we're gonna be pretty good. But I'm not interested in that. I want to win the whole damn thing. That's what I want. Question.
One of the games that I can't remember which game it was, but we lost. It was a really small difference. It was a pretty tight game the whole time. And from what I saw, we had the game, but towards the end, the boys got real cocky and they kind of threw it away. How do you get your players to understand, like, you can never get too excited until the final buzzer?
Well, I know exactly the game he was talking about. It was the very first one. It's LSUA. Because I remember when the timeout came over, you thought we'd already won the game, and everybody was, jumping up and down. And when you do that with inexperience and no seniors, see, it's better for one of them to say, grab him and say, hey, look, this thing's not over, rather than we have to say. But you're right, and because the whole thing that I've talked about, all these luncheons, on good consistency and focus, and they go hand in hand. And an inexperienced team or a real young team, when I say inexperienced, I got older guys, all right? I'm not talking about like I got all freshmen and sophomores, but when you haven't played, you're inexperienced. None of them have played 4-year basketball. So that's inexperience. Other than the two we brought back, Houston and Packard. But no, it's a learning lesson. So trust me, we lose the game. And to be quite honest, I've talked about not knowing my team. Like Christian Clark shot 75% last year at East Central Community College, Mississippi. He's the one that missed 4 free throws. I mean, I've never had a kid airball 2 free throws in one game in 35 years of coaching. So I saw that the first this year. I've got that in my chapter 8 of my book. And it also missed 4 free throws when there's no pressure. To me, you got 2. I mean, I'm doing everything I know. I made 1. All right. But it's a situation where now that I know, trust me, on the timeout or wherever, and the kids now know, Dennis is going to be taking it out, and we'll get it to Dimitri. He's really the only one we can get it to right now. Other than that, it's going to be close your eyes and hope and pray. Because Dimitri's got 75, 77%. So, but yeah, that's a good point. Very, very observant of you. That was the game. And we did have, we got 3 losses, and every one of them, we had, it wasn't that they beat us. We lost the game. We lost it. And the free throws there, and then LSUS, we get a 2-point lead, 26 seconds to go. We rebound the ball. They got a foul, and the kid, instead of holding it, he tries to take off down the court and get away, which he's the same one that missed 4 free throws, because I know why the hell he's doing it now. He didn't want to get fouled, probably. So there he goes, and there goes the ball out of bounds. So but those things happen when you have kids. I mean, and Christian's going to be a good player. Yeah, he's one of our smartest players, and a great kid, comes from a great family. It's just the fact that he's, like in the leadership meeting yesterday, I mean, it was shared that coaches, some guys, we got to be careful about this. Yeah, I know. We found out the hard way. Anything else? Yes, Dr. Barnes.
So I'm just, when I was coaching, one of the things, that was a real biggie for me was trust. So, dealing with issues with teams, I'm not playing. At the end of the day, for me, it was always whether I could trust you. And if your actions on a consistent basis is always something that's not trustworthy, then you don't get your chance in the game. What's your philosophy? Like, what's your philosophy around that with you trying to get to this 8 or 9 that you normally play, and how much does trust play into that for you?
It plays a lot. I think all coaches, it's like when players say, "Coach don't like me. That's why I'm not playing." Well, I can tell you this, once again, going over all my years, coaches that don't play the best players, that because they want to win just as bad as you. And so you've got to trust them. Now, one thing that I do sometimes a little bit differently, maybe, and maybe other coaches do it also, I'm sure they do, is that I go by my gut sometimes. You know, like, I know, it's like I told Dennis Hightower yesterday, I said, if I'd known you was 35% free throw shooter, I wouldn't have recruited you. So I'm just telling you that straight up. And, because, I mean, you can't have a guard shooting 35%. And, but I trust him. And now, I'm not sending him up there to shoot technical. Yeah. But he gonna be in the game, and if he gets fouled, he's gonna start making those.
Why do you trust him though? That's like.
Because I know he can play.
Oh, okay.
See, I know he can play. I know his background. He's a Midwest kid. He grew up with basketball. He's made plays all his life. And he grew up 9 miles from my hometown. Yeah. So I mean, I had people call me, "You got a heck of a player," and so they know him, and and I only know him from 7 games and what he's done so far. But now you ask me this in February, I might not trust him so much. I don't know. But I'm telling you right now, I'm going to give him a chance to earn my trust. I know that. So, benefit of the doubt. But, I mean, that's what, I don't know whether y'all heard this or not, but I heard a guy at clinic one time say the definition of coaching, asked, what is the definition of coaching? And it came out, it's a bunch of 18, 19, 20-year-old kids running up and down the court with my paycheck in their mouth. So, if you think about it, so that's what you deal with. And, but that is what us coaches have chosen. Just like Coach Rome said, he has a passion for it. I have a passion for it, and I love it. And you just got to understand, they're going to make mistakes. They're not going to be perfect. And my job is to help them get better. And, like I said a couple luncheons ago, my philosophy has always been, and I tell the kids this all the time, my job is to make you a better player when you leave here than when you got here. To make you a better person when you leave here than when you got here. And make you have such a great experience in our program that you won't give back to the university and your program. And if you do that as a coach, then you're going to win all the games you need. And you're going to get money because they're going to give if they win. So that's my philosophy.
I have a question about the players that you trust on the team.
Mm-hmm.
What happens when you have that player or those players that you have so much trust, on your team not doing the job? When do you trust your other players that's on the bench? Let's use, I won't use any names,
you got to give who you think based upon film and statistics, and to me, my gut feeling of who I think is the best players and who I think can give us the best chance to win. And you ride with them until someone steps up. Now, to answer your question directly, that's exactly why those kids got their starts and got a lot of minutes, to show me, okay, other than him, they haven't done anything in practice. That's where it starts. But I've had some times, I'll have practice players, you'll have maybe one every 2 or 3 years that is just hates practice, won't practice, doesn't matter what you do to try to motivate him, all right, and loves the game. It doesn't like practice. But when that scoreboard lit up, he's out of Mobile, Alabama, when it came, he was ready to play. So I've always looked at that, and I keep telling our kids, practice is where you're going to earn your time, earn your minutes. Not just one day you show out, but consistently. Beating that guy, the minutes you want to get, you got to beat that guy in practice. And so, but we had a chance this week in a game where it didn't count, so we're not hurting anybody as far as we lose the game. It can make a chance to make us better. So those kids got that opportunity. That's what I was trying to say. No one really it was still like a flat line at the hospital. Nobody really jumped up there and be like, "Ooh, I can't wait to get to William Carey." So they had their chance, minutes. So, because I know they won't say it, I know what they're thinking though. Yeah. They all think they can play. because they're listening to their mommy and daddy or their aunt, uncle, AAU coach, somebody's in their ear, you know, telling them this and that and the other. And nothing wrong with that. You want that support system. But the reality of it is that the coach is going to play the best players. There's a reason why you aren't playing. Either you're not executing, don't know what to do, the intelligent level of knowing the game, or you're just not very damn good. Just, you know, that's just the way it is. You're not as good as what you need to be. And so, but it's a reason. And the way you find that reason out is you grab the mirror and look right at it. That's what every day you'll look in the mirror. That's where the problem usually starts. And once you can realize that, then you're going to be fine. Anything else? Yes, sir.